Hey, so you end up, I mean, you come right into the business. You're working in a top program with, one of the top cats in the history of the business, Hulk Hogan.
Right.
Dude, I mean, that had to jack with your head a little bit because all of a sudden you went from being a fan of the business to being a top guy in the business. Did that spoil you in any way? Did that kind of put you in a mindset of, hey, this is easy?
No. If anything, it made it worse. If anything, it was a very difficult position because in WCW, I was with a lot of veterans that weren't drawing. Their pay wasn't subject to how well they drew.
Right.
So they were very relaxed on doing what they wanted to do, and they helped you along, and they called stuff, and it was really easy, and it was a good environment that way. I think I really didn't understand how much my experience was lacking until I came to WWE or WWF at the time.
Right.
Because then, and no offense, and I still think it's the greatest time in the business ever, was when I first came up here in the Attitude Era with you on top, and Rock, and Undertaker, and Hunter, and Mick, and you know, I remember our stand. I tell the young kids at my Anaheim Pond live event house show, you versus Rock, Mick Foley versus Triple H, Taker versus Kane, APA versus New Age Outlaws, Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Brothers, Big Show versus Viscera in a body slam match, Bob Holly versus Al Snow, and Jackie versus Ivory. Bro, that was our standard card we ran every weekend. That's a Hall of Fame card now. And that's what you ran every weekend, selling everything out. You come in, no comps, no comp. We didn't run 3,500 seat over in Osaka, wherever, Kansas. You know, it was Chicago, it was L.A., it was Anaheim, it was the Garden, it was, you know, I mean, there were big houses. It was ridiculous money. But the thing was with you guys were so experienced. You knew how many people were in there. You knew your merch sales. You knew everything A to Z that to me never was brought up, that I never learned. I never got all that. Yeah, I'd been around. I knew how to act around top guys, but it was very hard for me to get around you guys and be in the mix with you guys, and then to be so woefully inexperienced and still try to keep a good face on and try to basically BS your way through it, because it wasn't like back then I could say, hey, Steve, I need help with this, or hey, Mark, I need help with this.
Right.
No, because if you're doing that kind of a deal and you're not holding up your end, man, you got steamrolled. That's just the way things work.
Man, that's it's very interesting because there was a lot of cats who ended up, you know, with a good run down there in WCW. But when it came time to come to the big show, no pun intended,
right,
WWE, and it was the F back then. But, I mean, the proof was in the pudding, and that pudding happened in the squared circle, 20 by 20. Right. That's when it was time to put up or shut up.
Put up or shut up.
And you would get exposed. If you couldn't go, you would get exposed. And I won't name any names, but there's been many cats who came from WCW, got into the system here, and all of a sudden, not so much. Mm-hmm. Because if you can't go,
you got left by the wayside.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you know what, as you guys, you know, even that whole Attitude Era and stuff like that, you guys fought hard and dug hard, and everybody that was on top then wasn't there because they wanted to go on and do something else. They were there because this is what they loved. This is what meant the most to them. They had run the cars. They had worked the territories. It was a completely different atmosphere. I mean, I can't remember just the competition every night of who had the best match. It wasn't high-fiving and laughing and joking. We had fun.
Right.
We had fun, but you knew the only way you came back from that ring and got to have fun and laugh and joke is if you just tore the friggin' house down in your match. And if you didn't tear the house down in your match, you came back to that curtain to dead silence, and you knew that, hey, I need to pick it up.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I'd come through that curtain and Taker would be sitting there waiting on me, and he'd have that crooked finger, and he'd call me over. Man, I used to think about running my car into a bridge so many times when I was driving, because I would just come back, and I just struggling and couldn't get it. And I remember, that's why I'm so thankful to our trip, even though it's funny, but that experience that we had with you and pulling the trunks up your butt helped me so much to understand this is how I contribute to the business. This is what you guys want from me. Right. Okay, this is what I need.
It's interesting to tell the story of The Undertaker because he was a guy, you know, he's a big dude. He's 6'10", 6'11".
The most in-shape guy in the locker room, though, cardio-wise.
Yeah, but for shoot, you know, the dude's he's 6'10", 6'11", so he's a big guy. And at the time, he's probably 320. So he's a big dude. So he was looking out for you. You're a bigger guy, and you're out there, and he's pulling you over, giving you the finger, and you go and you get under the under the tree of wisdom,
Tree
and
of
he starts
learning.
imparting some hard-earned knowledge of down the road that he's been
Right.
from being a big guy and trying to help an even bigger guy
Right.
learn how to sell, how to do this, how to whatever. And he's been very giving to many people, not just yourself, but
Right.
he has talked to so many people and helped drop so much 411 on helping guys out. And there's not a whole lot of guys in the dressing room that can pull a giant over. I mean, I could and say specific things about fire, this, that, or whatever, but
Right.
you know, from logistics of, and I can tell you obviously, hey, you need to work bigger.
Right.
But you know, not everybody can just pull you aside or has the wherewithal to take the initiative or the heart.
Right, the
To
heart.
pull you over and give you this
Especially
wisdom.
back then, because it wasn't one of those things. You didn't get free knowledge dropped on you back then.
No.
And the
You
fact
rode a
that-
good car and you tell some good stories and learn psychology, but just some straight up factual information of, hey,
Yeah.
kid, maybe not this, maybe do that, or
Yeah.
try this. What
Yeah.
about this?
Right.
And he was that guy for you.
He was awesome to me. You know what? It's funny is I remember I used to dread working him. I'd look at his name across from mine, and just I would get sick to my stomach and just know that it's not going to turn out well, no matter how well I do. It's not good enough yet.
Well,
you
it's
know?
not because you're judged to such a high standard. But the thing about working with Mark is, man, that dude, he's so big, he always sells on the run. Dude, I'm 6'1", 250, so every time I used to work on his ass, I mean, he's selling on the run the way he should.
And you're chasing
And
him.
you're chasing him. So by the time you shine him up, by the time you chase him down to get that heat, and then by the time he makes that comeback,
Or he sits up and just kills everything you just did, and you got to start all over.
if you ain't got no air in your lungs,
Oh,
if you're not up to speed with your cardio, working with Taker, you're up a creek without a paddle, and that's the way it should be, and that's why he's had the run that he's had, and the 21-0 streak
Yeah.
in WrestleManias.
That's a testament,
Oh,
not
dude.
just to. That's a testament to the man behind the character too.
Oh, you damn right, and a guy that's able to put together. It'll never happen again, and I never want to see 21-1.
I don't want to see 21-1
It'd be
either,
great
no.
to see 22-0, or if it stays 21-0, that's great too. But I don't want to see 21-1.
I agree 100%. That'd be that would cause a riot.
Yeah. I mean, like I said on an earlier show, if Vince called me and said, "Hey, we want you to work with Undertaker, we want you to beat him,"
know.
you couldn't write a check big enough, and that's just the way it is.
No,
I would not
me
be the guy to
either.
kill the streak.
Me
It's too
either.
special.